Hello there, how you doing? Hope all is going well in your world. This is a subject I get asked about all the time. What are the signs that you might be awakening? Well, here's the thing. I believe everybody's awakening, just at different levels. That's all. So you may be in a household where you feel everybody around you is frantic or depressed or angry. All you have to do is look back in your own history and you will probably find these behaviors in your own world. Or you're currently living them right now, this very second. So don't be the first person to point a finger and be like, you did this and you said that and you should have been here and I would have never done that. Well, the truth is, most likely, we all screw up. We all make mistakes. Errors in judgment. It happens. It happens to the best of us. So one of the first signs of awakening is everything that was important to you at one point is not important anymore. So acquiring many things or getting a new car every 5 years or dating the prettiest girl or living in the biggest house, these things suddenly don't seem to matter much. You're more connected to things like, what would it be like if my life was calmer? What would it be like if I actually got along with my neighbors and my coworkers? What would it be like if I enjoyed getting up in the morning and going to work? So many people, unfortunately, don't like what they do, don't like the people they hang around, keep doing the same things over and over again and expect different results. Well, that's madness. So the first thing you need to do, if you're in pursuit of being maybe enlightened, or just in the first steps of enlightenment, because I don't think you ever really truly arrive. I think there's moments of more peace, more calm, more joy, more abundance in your life. But if you can have where your mind isn't constantly frantic, and you're not constantly angry, and you're not constantly blaming someone. See, people who are enlightened, they look at situations as, this is a lesson. This has been placed upon my path for a reason. This person is in my way. For what reason? This person is irritating me. For what reason? What lesson have I not learned yet that I need to learn? Those are the questions that enlightened people ask. Now, if you're stuck and you're blaming everyone else, then that's okay. It's not the end of the world. You can change your behaviors. But you have to be conscious of what you're doing. So you have to live in the moment. And you have to be aware of the way you're thinking and processing thinking. See, one of the greatest exercises that you can do is you can slow down. You can think before you speak, and don't be reactive. And I think one of the greatest assets that you can have in this life is to be a good listener. And if you're a good listener, you will also be able to tell by the body cues of the people what is going on in their world. So if they're super stressed and they're talking frantically and they're sweating or they're just agitated and there is no fuse, they're probably going through something. So don't be a person who just constantly judges and harps and says, I would never do that. How dare they do that to me? Don't they know? Don't they know the harm they cause? Well, most likely, the traits that you like in other people are traits that you would love to have yourself. But the traits that we dislike the most, we tend to carry within our own being. So, as light as someone can be, and, I'm talking about myself, I have aspects of my personality that can be quite dark and mean and condescending and rude. So I always have to kind of have some self-talk once in a while and talk to Michael and, and say, don't do that. Why are you doing that? Just walk away. It's not going to change anything. Why is this person on your path? What can you learn? How can you grow? Those are the questions you should ask yourself. Awakening is a wild trip. You might also go through periods of sadness. You'll feel disconnected. You'll feel like a bit of a weirdo. And it's because everything that you thought was real and important and made you unique is suddenly not important. You never were that unique. And you start to realize that you're part of this huge collective. Now, the sad truth is, many people live in the matrix. And what I mean by that is they go to the same job. They get up in the morning. They wear pretty much the same 5 outfits. They have the same breakfast. They check their emails. They put on their shoes. They pick up their keys. They get their cell phone. They drive to work or they walk. And the day is pretty much the same. So if you want to switch things up in your life, find little ways. Interrupt the pattern. That is another way that you can find yourself more in frequency, more aligned to frequency. And frequency is just energy. And we know this because we can be in a room with a bunch of people, and they can take one person who's very negative and they can change the whole dynamic of the room. But guess what? If there's a light in there, a positive person, they can disrupt that person, change the pattern in them, and run for dear life. Yeah. It's not easy. Especially if you have family members that maybe are somewhat emotional vampires. Or co-workers that are emotional vampires. So you have to kind of know when to, pull the ripcord and run for the hills. But I really believe that the people that you feel aligned with and you feel comfortable with, they are currently at the same frequency that you're at. But if you're around people and they're negative, unless you're negative as well, now if you're both negative, you're going to get along great because you're going to have a lot to talk about. But if you're both positive, you may have different ways of communicating. So just know that it's not an easy journey. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. The problem is with enlightenment, there is no easy way. It's a lot of hard work, self-reflection, kind of knowing where you are on your life path, and being very loving and patient with yourself, and taking time to nurture yourself. And what I mean by that, the nurturance part is spending time in nature, walking among tall trees, reading a good book, meditation, moments of stillness. Those are the things that will equate to you being closer to your goal of a calmer, more balanced life. Now, a balanced life for one person is not the same for another. Some people love and breed in great satisfaction when it is somewhat chaotic and crazy. I seem to like to be somewhere in the middle. I know other people that as soon as it gets heated, they run. They don't like any form of conflict. Then I know other people, and you probably do too, that love conflict and feed off of it. And it makes them very happy. It fuels them, right? It gives them the juice. It gives them a reason for living. Some people love to be combative. And they love being in situations where they always have an enemy. They're never, ever okay with the world. They have to have at least 2 or 3 people that they are going to get. And they're going to get even with. If you're enlightened, or you're in the process of enlightenment, you don't have time for that. All the work is on you. You do the work. You're the study. Because really, that is the only thing you can change is yourself. You can't change the environment around you. You may be able to for a few seconds by being positive. But long term, there's no way. So listen, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me anything you want. It's okay with me. I will do my best to answer them as quick as I can. I want to do a shout out. I want to thank the countless people on Twitter. I believe I have 37,000 followers now. I used to have more, but Twitter did this huge purge, which is fantastic because Twitter needed it desperately. I'm slowly growing on the YouTube channel. I think I have something like 660 or 670 followers. I would love to get up to 1,000 or 2,000, but I haven't really been active on this channel for a very long time. And I hope in the next few months that I'll do more stuff like this. So feel free to, subscribe, like this video, dislike this video if you like. Leave a comment. I love comments. And feel free to ask any question you wish to ask me. Jace Jacobs, Jar of Poetry, Crinkle Crinkle. Thank you for all your support recently. Your videos are very inspiring, and I hope you continue to be a bright light in this somewhat weary world. Have a great day. Take care of yourself. Thanks a lot for listening.